a captain in a Champions League side suddenly gone, you know what, I'll come to the Black Country, no worries. That's not going to happen without a certain connection, is there?
Hi there, welcome to another episode of the Premier League Predictor. Today we are joined by a good guest that will be talking us through Wolverhampton Wanderers, a team that I have to say I don't know too much about, but I'd be blessed to kind of learn a little bit more now. And if you haven't already done so, please check out our last episode that I did with Mr. Dorf for Nottingham Forest. It was a very interesting episode, so make sure you look at the cards right now. But more importantly, if you haven't already done so, please subscribe to our channel. We'd appreciate all your likes and any comments that you send us along the way. And also, I will caveat this by saying that we are recording on the 6th of July. Yes, the 6th of July. We're doing this quite early, so do not shoot myself or my guest when we're talking about his beloved Wolves. But more importantly, let me introduce you to our guest. So we are joined by Simon Robson, who is part of Bucket Hat Sam's podcast. So Simon, lovely to have you on. But more importantly, we're going to talk about your beloved Wolves. So let's talk about last season more importantly. So in terms of Wolves, very good season, I have to say.
Yeah, first of all, thanks for having me on, obviously. A bit of an honest ask, so thank you very much. Last season, I think from Wolves, I think we overachieved last year. We looked to where the squad was going. Wasn't many signs last year, a few loan signings, but nothing too much really going on. We lost some big players last summer as well. To then finish top half and to actually think we could have done better than that as well. We overachieved. I really believe that. I think a lot of us Wolves fans thought we finished around 13th, 14th. I really did. The squad was quite stale. It's a lot of the players are still from a championship team when we got promoted, and that was 4 years ago before that. Now 5. Some players have come in. Raul Jimenez returned as well for that awful head injury, which you can't forget about. He was never going to be the same player, but he still did the work for us. We were defensively very, very strong. I think you could argue we had the signing of the season in Jose Sarr and Garth with only 6 mil. We saw Patricio to Roma for what I think was 11 million euros, then signed Sarr for £6 million. And he was a revelation for Wolves. He really was. He really suits the Premier League, I think. Whereas Patricio sometimes didn't so much. Patricio was very much a keeper who was staying his line. He would never come for crosses. He wasn't that demanding in the box. Sarr's very quick to react to a lot of things. Sometimes too proactive. Gave away a few penalties, but other than that, I've got to sing his praises. What a keeper for us! What a signing!
Yeah, definitely.
So and then you still got the two midfield too of Neves and Moutinho. You just always bring class to a team. Whenever one's not playing, you can really feel it. So it was overall really positive season for Wolves. I just think we might regress this season, unfortunately.
I mean, I have to say, I think from the start of the season, I wasn't predicting Wolves to do as well as they did. But I think I sense a little bit in your tone that maybe you regret how Wolves ended up, because I think there was some promising signs to be potentially in that top 6 mix as well, right?
Absolutely. I mean, people didn't really even want the top 4 at one stage. I mean, Arsenal, Spurs, West Ham, Man U never wanted. They were all losing games. But unfortunately, it was Southampton. We were losing games constantly. I really think we missed out on a massive opportunity last season to get back into Europe. Obviously, a few years ago, we had that Europa League run, which was as a Wolves fan, one of the best years of my life to ever be part of. Going some of the away games was absolutely fantastic. Some of the home games are even better. I still think about Ruben Neves' goal against Espanyol in the 4-0 beat with a volley from 25 yards. It's as good as one against Derby. It's an absolutely brilliant goal. I just think we could have done more. For the last 10 games, we really slipped off. The players were on the beach, or you can hear the flip-flops on the pitch all the time. So it's a disappointing end. It really was. I wish we did better. And if we did anything better, we would have honestly finished higher than 10th. We really would have. But
definitely.
When I consider where we were at the start of the season, how I thought we would be, I've actually got to be quite positive about it, really.
And just out of curiosity, from my point of view, how have you reacted to how Bruno Lage has kind of made his impacts on Wolves? Because certainly I feel like with Gomez they got tired of his tactics beforehand. So obviously it feels like, he's introduced something fresh to the squad and in particular to that team as well. So are you kind of pleasantly taken aback by that appointment as well?
Well, I mean, initially when it was appointed, I think a lot of Wolves fans went, Who's this guy? We never really properly heard of him. He had an 18-month stint at Benfica. He was assistant manager at Sheffield Wednesday, I believe. And I think Swansea was a coach at as well. But no one really knew much about him, really. We knew he brought through João Felix, who's now at Atletico Madrid, obviously. That's all we knew. We were told he likes a 4-4-2 formation. Lo and behold, he plays 3-4-3 all season, so we didn't really know what to expect. First few games, we showed some really good attacking intent. I know the first 3 games, we didn't actually score a goal. We had Spurs, Man U, and Leicester. But all 3 games we should have won. We had a really good attacking intent. I think as the season went on, I think we still became more defensive again, a bit like the Nuno way almost. I really thought then this summer he just said right now, this is the time I want to bring my philosophy in. We'll get back to the 4-4-2, which he likes apparently. But with the lack of transfers so far seen, and players going out the door more than players coming in, I can't see it happening currently. I think we'll be stuck with 3-4 Nuno formation for the moment.
No, and let's talk about the areas that you need to strengthen and that kind of transfer wish list. So from what I was delving into, you're kind of at the current who you've got in. So Hee-chan has been confirmed from Leipzig for 15 million. Your kind of favourite, which is João Moutinho, he's been extended for another season. You've got Adama Traore coming back from Barcelona. Don't know how well that's going down with Wolves fans, but prior to kind of going live, we've been kind of looking at it, and it seems like you've been linked with Andrea Almeida from Victor Gomares. Mario Icardi's been linked, which was an interesting one. But from your point of view, Simon, where do you think Wolves really need to strengthen?
I think definitely, the 2 main positions I would say is centre half and centre forward. If I look at centre halves, Size has been released, obviously.
Yeah.
We've got young centre halves coming through in Max Kilman, who did really well last year, but I think we could do someone else. You had Gomez come in, Totti Gomez, who came in from the Grasshoppers, I think he was. Got recalled in January, did fairly well, but didn't set the world alight really. Willy Bolly looks a bit, he used to be absolute colossal for us, mountain, but now he looks like he's got a mistake in him every few games, so that's a bit of concern. Cody's the man in a back 3. Cody's the man in the centre, but then in a back 4, does he start? Is another question. So obviously, questions around him. So centre half is a really, really key point for me. I've not seen that many people linked to receive a centre half. So it's a bit of a concern for me. So I'd say that's priority number 1. Priority number 2 would be, another centre forward in. I think the way the Wolves board like to purchase players like playing different positions. So someone who could play all across their front 3 or could go up front in a winger. Previously, say March, June time, we were linked quite heavily to Guedes from Valencia. Again, a Portuguese international, of course. But I thought that'd be a great sign. Valencia a bit cash stripped themselves. They need a bit of money, I believe, from what I've been reading. I thought this has got legs, and then that's gone quiet as well. If Neves gets sold, which I think a lot of Wolves fans are, have accepted end of the season. I think people realise it's probably the time for him to move on if he wants to kick on. And, I wouldn't mind seeing him go to a bigger club to play Champions League football because he absolutely believes he deserves it 100%. And I'm not, I don't think Wolves should hold him back. He's done his job for Wolves. Guys promoted, guys solidified Premier League team. So let's move him on. But if we're going to move him on, let's do it sooner rather than later. This is another concern of mine. I think that the teams who have been linked are fairly short on cash themselves, it seems, or aren't very trigger happy. Barcelona were linked with him. Well, that's into the De Jong deal to Man United. I'm not sure, maybe as a replacement. And also Man United's been linked with him as well. So I've been very, I haven't done much at all yet either. I don't either themselves so far as transfer market. So I'd rather Neves got sold sooner or later if he's going to go. But I fear later in the window that we've got to rush ourselves. People know, sooner we've got a lump of sum of money, let's increase everyone's prices.
Yeah, no, certainly. I think you've almost got a ready lined up replacement in Enzo Fernandez. He's been linked with you as well. So 17 million apparently is the fee to trigger from River Plate. So it'll be interesting again. I suspect that's a Jorge Mendes connection there as well, potentially.
I believe he's linked to the Portuguese club as well, though, unfortunately. I think they might be a bit quicker on it than us, which is it's another disappointing thing to say.
Yeah, no, I think there is a lot of clubs really linked with him as well, to be fair. So it'll be interesting to see how I think the next few transfers, and I mean just in general, will influence the transfer market, because as we spoke offline, I think there's a number of like transfer rumours going around right now. We've had the Lewandowski and Bayern take at the moment, which is very interesting. I'm sure everyone will speculate on that one, but I think there'll be a few more moves that will take place that will kind of start this kind of trend of spending, because it's not just yourselves that haven't got too many transfer targets through the door right now. So, yeah, I mean, from your point of view as well, just quickly to talk about it, the Portuguese connection has been there for a number of years. Yeah. And we spoke briefly offline, but yeah, just to get your views in public, what do you think of it? Do you think it's helped the club?
I think it's brought us forwards. You know, I'll take back to the very first year when Nuno came in, and you know, we were never going to get a Ruben Neves into a captain in a Champions League side suddenly gone, you know what, I'll come to the Black Country. No worries. That's not going to happen without a certain connection, is there? And I also think, again, João Martinez for 5 million in that first season of the Premier League.
Yeah.
Why is he going to want to come to that country realistically? It doesn't. Yeah. It's not an appealing. It's obviously an appealing area for a lot of people, but for someone who's been living, in Monaco or wherever,
exactly. Yeah.
It's a bit of a change, isn't it? So I'm all for it. I think it was good, especially at the start. There's been a few questionable moves since. The one that springs to mind especially is Fabio Silva. Who his agent wasn't even Jorge Mendes, but Jorge Mendes got involved in the deal somehow, and got a handsome sum for it, I believe. So
I bet he did. Yeah,
it seems to be the broker between. We've had good players from him as well. Don't get me wrong, we have some good players from the connections. I just wish sometimes we looked a bit further afield. It wasn't just this Portuguese link all the time.
Definitely. Well, Simon, I'm going to push you now. I'm going to ask you for your predictions for this season. I know it's very tough given that we're talking about the fact that there's not too many kind of transfers through the door right now. But quite honestly, if you were to say the season ends right now in terms of transfer dealings, where do you think Wolves will end up?
It's hard to say because a lot of teams obviously have strengthened already, haven't they? Strengthened very early on. You look at especially teams like Newcastle, who signed Botman, who obviously Wolves were in for last year as well, and we've missed that one, really have. If Wolves could still maintain a top half finish, I think that's an unbelievable season. But do I think that's realistic as at this point on the 6th of July? Probably not. I just think two teams have strengthened and we haven't so far. If we get 12th, that's probably a bit more realistic right now, unfortunately. Until we start scoring more goals, we've got to make sure we stay solid at the back like we were all of last season almost. And that's where we will pick up points, hopefully.
Yeah, no, I think what will be really, the pinnacle for Wolves is their home form. So make sure they win their games at home and obviously where they go away, make sure those kind of 6-pointers, they actually take those points. But I feel the same. I think it's going to be a mid-table finish for you guys. If you can go above that, then that'd be brilliant. But I think it will take a special signing to maybe help that team progress a little bit higher up that table. So, let's wait and see. But many thanks to you for being on this episode. Really appreciated. And I'm hoping that the viewers really appreciated that. So let us know in the comments below. Do you agree with Simon? Let's see how Wolves get on. But for now, take care and we'll see you at the next episode.